And we are live. Welcome to a yet another episode of the Millionaire Ladies Mob. I am here today with my fabulous sisters, my fabulous ladies, my fabulous queens, and we are happy to be here today. I just wanted to take just a minute of our time, or maybe 30 seconds, and do a moment of silence for all the babies that we lost this week. So I'm going to look at the time and we'll do 30 seconds, moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for indulging me. Um,
You're welcome.
we have had so many of these things, and I don't want us to dwell a whole lot on it, but I just wanted to just kind of just stop and pause for a minute and understand that we don't just continue just going as if nothing happened. We lost 19 elementary children. After I got off the phone with you guys last night, oh my God. I happened to walk into my room and the TV was still playing, and some of the parents were talking about how they found out that their children were gone. It just broke me up. I was in like so much tears, and I'm like, I gotta change this. But I couldn't even bring myself to change it because it just seemed like, I'm not I'm just being disrespectful and I'm not paying them homage or whatever. So if I don't start it, I'm okay. But once it's there, I feel like I just have to listen because can you imagine, right, what these people had to go through? So I wanted to give them um, a moment of silence. And thanks, guys, for putting that up there. You guys are so efficient with that. Anyway, I would like us to go ahead and introduce ourselves. I understand that we've been on here. I think this is probably our ninth or 10th show, but ninth. Oh, good. I got it great. But there might be people that are joining us today that haven't seen us before. And if you're joining us, say hello. Let us know that you can hear us. Put a one in the chat if you can hear us. Or if you see that our mouth is just moving, let us know, please, so we're not talking to each other here just by
Don't leave us
ourselves.
hanging out in these streets silence.
Yes. So please let us know if you can hear us. Please share the video. Please follow us on Millionaire Ladies Mob on YouTube. We type that in, you'll find us. You'll find us on Instagram. Give us a follow. We're trying to get this information out to as many people as we can. Tonight's show is really, really interesting. I think it's going to be great. It's a hard topic to talk about, but that's what we do. We talk about the hard topics. We talk about in Saran's show the dirty little secrets, dirty little money secrets. We talk about them, and that's just what we do. So I'm just going to go ahead and have my sisters introduce themselves, and then come back to me. And I will start with my sister Saran Baker, who looks so smart right now in her glasses.
I know. I look like I went to Cornell, but I didn't. I am Saran Baker. I am your debt elimination queen. I focus on debt elimination, income protection, retirement planning, college planning, scholarship planning, you name it, all kinds of things. And as Carmen mentioned, I also host my own show on Monday nights at 8:30, Dirty Little Money Secrets. You can find me on YouTube at Saran Baker. And I'm just excited to be here. This is my favorite day of the week because I get together with my ladies, my fellow queens, and we really just get to vibe. A lot of times we're here just conversing with one another, and you get to be live and get educated from the things that we have many combined years of experience doing. So I'm just excited to be here. Take care.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you, Saran. Shalonda.
Good evening. I am Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I am the Money Queen. I am a financial planner and I discuss everything money. Will help you budget your money, save your money, grow your money, multiply your money, whatever you want to do with your money. That's me, Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell, the Money Queen.
Wow.
Awesome. And Aaliyah.
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Cover Your Family. I am the healthcare queen, and the reason is because I am all things healthcare, health insurance, life insurance too, critical illness, cancer, long term care, disability. That's what I do. I want to make sure you're covered. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod, and welcome to our Thursday night show.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Aaliyah is our healthcare queen. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. And she shows us how we can find that balance in protecting ourselves, um, as well as growing our wealth. And if you missed her last night, go look her up. She talked about critical illness last night. It was an awesome conversation. We want to make sure that's shared in our group. I think it is, but and make sure it's shared on our page. But if you missed her, go look it up. The things that you can do. And I know, listen, I am a licensed agent, a licensed broker, and I still don't have some of those things. And so I will be taking advantage of some of those types of policies. I like it. I like to call it is when you insure the insurance, basically, right? It's not I have insurance and I just walk away. You insure every gap is what you're insuring. And so that is uh, truly awesome. I am Carmen 10K Bernard. Carmen Bernard. You can find me at carmen10k.com. Carmen10k.com. That's me.
I'm gonna call you Carmen 10K from now on.
Yes, right. Carmen 10K. We got to make that stick. I help people to protect their income, to eliminate debt, to create a legacy of generational wealth, to create an income stream that they cannot outlive, and to make their money work more than one time in order to create wealth and to create generational wealth. And tonight's episode is super awesome to me because we the new catchphrase is I'm creating generational wealth. I'm getting well, generational wealth the definition is in the actual word generational, right? And in order for it to be generational wealth, it has to span over several generations. In order to do that, you have to protect it. And so everybody's running around, get generational wealth, and all you're doing is generational spending. About we're gonna talk tonight about protecting that income, protecting that wealth to make sure that it really, really, truly lasts for generations. But first, I want to let you know we are not attorneys. We are professionals and licensed in our own right, but this is educational advice and cannot be taken as this is what Carmen Bernard said to do, or Aaliyah or Shalonda said to do. Please reach out to one of us or to someone else that you trust and have this conversation. So we are not lawyers and we're not practicing law, but we are speaking facts tonight.
We're educating you. You should absolutely connect with a lawyer or one of the services online.
Yeah.
Yes, plenty of organizations you can work with. They're not paying us to tell you their names,
so and we're not telling them.
Inbox us, and maybe we'll tell you. But you need to contact the lawyer. But the thing you don't need to do is not seek professional assistance, which we have said many times, is that we try to do it yourself all the time. You can't DIY everything.
But what you can do though is reach out to us because we are able to help you with your estate planning, and we are able to put you in touch with people that can help you, that may help you to cut out that middleman. Because a lot of times people walk into an office with in an attorney office. Estate planning goes from about $2,000 to $7,000, and people walk away when they hear those numbers, and then they don't do anything, not realizing what can actually happen when they're gone. The $2,000 to $5,000 would now seem like, oh my God, I should have spent that, because now it becomes 10 and 15 and $20,000 for the nightmare that you end up creating with your for your family. And so this is a great conversation that I wanted to have tonight, because just because most people that you meet do not have an estate plan. Most people that you meet do not have a will. So I wanted to talk about it, guys. Throw it out there. What are some myths that you have heard when it
Can,
comes
can I say
to
something first?
estate planning? Yes.
You can talk to me. My certification in financial planning allows me to be educated and certified to do your estate planning. So
Oh,
you can talk to me.
You can
Just
talk
a
to all
little,
of us, because
just a
all
little
of
me
us
plug
are
there.
able to help you get your estate planning done. Mitchell, of course, reach out to her if you connect, resurrect with what she's saying, or if what she's saying resurrects with you. But any one of the four of us up here can help you with getting your estate planning done, and getting it done properly, and getting it done a whole lot less expensive by cutting out the middleman. Now, let me just tell you something though. Don't cut out the middleman like this, right? I knew of a family. The guy was having a heart attack. He always preached, cut out the middleman. And he called his son. He's like, call the ambulance, call the ambulance. The son left the room and he came back in and he said, listen, Dad, you're going to be so proud of me. I didn't call the ambulance. I called the undertaker. I just
oh
decided
no.
to cut out the
Oh,
middleman. I was just kidding.
oh,
All right.
oh no. They cut out the middleman.
Hey, a lot of people that are listening don't want to do anything, or don't are scared to let their family know some things, because they might just cut out the middleman. They're like waiting for you to drop dead. But if that's not you, yeah, let's have this conversation. So, what kind of myths have you heard about estate planning?
Let me say something. The things that I hear every day, and that I see, I don't just hear it, I see it. So a wealthy person, even just a regular person, passes away, and their family has no idea what to do with anything. They don't have, and I'm talking from personal experience, so I can talk. The family has no idea
Talk that talk,
where,
sister.
where the bank accounts are, where the bills are, where how to get in a cell phone, because we all have codes. I know my code. Does anybody else in your family know your code to get in your cell phone? So there are so many things that happen when someone passes away. And the myth is, I'm private. I don't, no one needs to know. Well, you don't know when something's going to happen to you. You just don't. And, it happened to me. So it's a personal um, endeavor for me. And it's a personal plea to most of you who are listening to take the time to get your things in order. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of money. If you have children, you don't want your children going into a welfare system because you didn't put something down about where they should go or what should happen to them. So that's just my thought.
There you go. Okay. Um,
I got something to say.
go right ahead, girl.
And you talk about children and things like that and making sure you have it, but let's talk about these single folks out here, right? You're the only one in your house. Nobody knows where your stuff is. Nobody has a spare key. Nobody can get into your phone. Nobody knows where anything is, right? And I understand that single life is, it might be tough, but you got to have somebody, some trusted family member that will have access and know where your things are, will at least have a list of who to contact, what you want, things like that. Case in point, again, like Aaliyah, I can speak from personal, experience. I had my uncle passed away. He didn't have any kids and he wasn't married, and I'm his only niece, right? Well, luckily, he had been emailing me for years every time he decided to make changes to whatever he was doing with his accounts and his estate plan and everything. But the one thing he didn't do is he didn't designate anyone for the property that he owned.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that becomes a longer process depending on what state you live in. And I know, in our conversation, we've talked about clients and even some of us where we've had family who've been in probate or different court systems for 1 year, 2 year, 10 years, 15 years, just to kind of move things through the process. Now, in this experience, I was able to learn and start to research, you know, in lieu of, if you don't have a will, which I'll tell you my opinion on a will later. It's to me, well, I'll tell you now. A will to me is like an invitation for everybody to come and say you owe them money and give me a piece of the pie. Right. That's what a will is to me. It's like the guy back in the day riding around on a horse, nailing up a parchment paper on a tree saying, come to court if Mary Sue owes you money. This is your time to get a piece of the pie, right?
That's true.
And people say, and
Yep.
I hear people preach will, but really, depending on with the assets that you have, you either need to have a trust
Yep.
or you need to make sure everything you own has a designated beneficiary and a contingent beneficiary. Because if you have everything designated with a beneficiary and a contingent beneficiary, in most cases, it's not contestable, depending on if you're married or not. Now, if you're married and you don't marry somebody that ain't your wife, the beneficiary, we need to have another talk. But the courts is gonna fix that for you if you mess around and it's something crazy, right? Now, I mean, that's serious. We talk. You know how I get a little gritty with it. The thing is that sometimes people do little stuff like that, and they don't know until after someone's gone, or they find out there's four more kids, and things like that. But you got to really we have to start thinking more strategically, right? Every person that's like, oh, I'm doing real estate because it's creating generational wealth. I'm doing this because it's creating generational wealth. I'm doing that. I'm trading. I'm trading crypto. I'm trading stocks. I'm building this business or that business. I'm selling candles. I'm making crap, whatever, right? Who's going to benefit? Who is the beneficiary on that account? How is that business set up so that it can be passed on? Is it just a sole proprietorship or is it an LLC? What do you have set up that makes it paperwork wise able to be transferable? Because guess what? When you're not here, the only thing that will speak for you is your paperwork.
You are right, Saran. And I told you guys the other day what happened to me. I was doing some, just making sure things were in order, and I found a life insurance policy that I had. And I called on it. And the beneficiary has passed away. That was my husband. He passed away in 2015. And I in 2015.
Right. Right.
So these are little things. Even we make mistakes and do things, but that's why we want for you to be aware, because it can take it just takes time. Go through what you have. Trust. There are tons of trust out there. You just have to know which trust you want. Which
Or,
trust
or,
works for
or
you.
speak with someone, right? Or speak
Yeah,
with someone that will be able to tell you what trust you actually need based on what you have. And someone said, I think it was you, Aaliyah, saying that you do not have to have a lot of money, right? And I think all of us on here can speak from actual experience when it comes to this. My mom, I made sure that my mom has a trust set up for her. Now, although she says, what do I have? When we said for her to do her will first, when she did to do a will, she was like, I don't have anything to give. But you guys remember, I lost some people last year, and none of those people had any wills set up, right? Not last year, 2020. We're in 2022, and those things are still in the court system, right? A will really becomes a won't, because it won't get looked at for years and years and years and years. They said the average is 36 months going through the courts, but not considering the pandemic. So now this thing can be like 5, 6 years, right? And your family members end up having thousands of dollars tied up in there in order to be able to get that, to get whatever you had, to become the administrator to get that fixed. Here's the problem: some people do not even have the money. So this is how we lose that. This is how we'll lose that wealth. That this is how most, especially in the Black community, we lose that wealth, right? Because we are not, hey Michelle, because we are not, you know, either either we are not privy to know what are the things that we have to do. And by the way, guys, a will, and Saran said it earlier, a will, basically, the only thing that does is it gives the court a place to start. That's the only thing it does. But it has to go through probate. In most states, a will has to go through probate. And that's an expense that many people cannot take on. And as Saran said, the everybody and their mama coming out to see what it. Oh, she owed me money. Oh, he's my daddy. Oh, all these things, and that's what's gonna happen. So even if you have a will does not go far enough. Even if you are single, right? I just read. I was gonna tell y'all this was my friend, but I don't want to lie anymore. I just read this, but this is what happened. There was this young girl who posted on social media. Imagine pulling, she bought a fancy convertible. Imagine pulling up in this convertible next to your ex. Your hair looks amazing. You're in this beautiful car. Like this post if you imagine that, because guess what? It just happened to me. That girl was in her late 20s. 4 days later, she was playing tennis and suffered a massive heart attack and died. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the problem. She was single. She had no children. And like Saran was talking about, my aunt had no children either, you know. She was widowed. Her husband, she was divorced and widowed. So it was just her. But this woman owned her own home. She, had the cars and all these different things. But one of the things that they were able to sit around and talk about her was that she had a meeting with a financial services person and had taken care of all of that. She had taken care of, she had not just a trust, she had a pour over will for all the other things that were not listed in the trust that gets pushed into that. And everything can go exactly as she wanted it to go. And so the person that relayed the story, she was able to deliver sizable checks to her brothers and her parents, her siblings and her parents, because she took the time to do this. So that myth is just me, or I don't have anything, or my house has a mortgage on it. Guys, guess what? You need to put that home also in that trust. You need to put those bank accounts in that trust. You need to put all those cryptocurrency platforms in that trust. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know, right?
Ask me how I know.
But I want to paint a scenario for you guys. I want to paint a scenario for you guys. Here you are, you and your husband, right? As you're listening to me, you and your husband. You know that if something happens to you, everything goes to her. You know that if something happens to you, everything goes to him. And sorry, bad news, something happens, right? She dies. Let's kill her first. I'm sorry. So she dies, right? It's been a couple of days. There's a knock on the door. Who's at the door, guys?
Hopefully the life insurance agent to bring you the check.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hopefully the life insurance agent. Yep. Who? Anybody else? Any guesses? What do y'all think? This is my story, but I want you to participate here.
I don't know, because you didn't tell us about this story yesterday.
This story is not rehearsed.
A long lost sister.
Guess who it is? It's the Casserole Girls. Do y'all know the Casserole Girls?
Oh,
No.
the people
No.
that are gonna
Those Casserole Girls, those young ladies who realize that there's an eligible bachelor now
the,
just become
oh,
available, and they
oh, you're
come
talking
knocking on the
about
door.
the people that are gonna pat your husband's back at
That's
the funeral.
exactly, they're going
Oh,
to
okay,
make sure
okay,
that
all right.
they're good, right? And you and him had this plan that everything was going to go to him, and after that, everything is going to go to your two daughters. But now, Susan
Oh.
May came in with her short tennis skirt and a casserole, and she's patting his back, and next thing you know, they're married.
Well,
Now, he can change that legally because everything went to him. What you said in that will does not matter anymore.
oh wow.
That will won't matter. So what happens now, right? You up there in heaven, thank God you went to heaven. You said, God, I need 20 minutes because I need to go down there and handle him, right?
I
But
can't make this up.
basically, he done passed the money off to her, and when that stepmother, you know how. Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but now the kid's not getting what you wanted. But if it was in a trust, it cannot be changed. What you said you wanted to happen will happen. And even if we killed the wife, but let's kill the husband. Who's knocking on the door? Right? It's the
The
pool boy.
eligible bachelors.
Exactly, it's the
Actually,
pool boy. The
all
pool
his
boy
friends.
is there at the door to
They had their eye on her all along.
comfort and warm her. So who's getting the money again? So let me just say, y'all.
No, we women, we're selfish. We ain't finna give it to the pool boy. You
Not the money, anyway.
not the
Not the
money.
Not the money.
the four the
So
four of us
Rand,
on here maybe, but I don't know. This happens every single day. This is not, yeah, I'm putting it in the form of like a story or something, but this happens every single day. And the only way for you to prevent that, the only way for you to speak from the grave is with an estate plan, which includes a trust. And there's so many different ones, and we are probably not going to get deep, deep, deep into that. But here's another myth. Tell me what y'all think about that. If a will isn't filed, the deceased assets are fair game.
No, that's incorrect. And I was going to actually chime in a little bit because depending on your state, each
Right.
state will have a succession plan for the descendant. They call it a descendant in many states for the person who has passed on. So depending on your state, it'll say, all right, if this person passed without a will, it automatically goes to the husband or the wife. If there's no husband or wife, then it'll say it'll go to the children equally. Then it'll say a next level. So for example, I'm in Maryland. There's 3 levels. The third level says if none of these people exist, it goes to the public school system.
What?
It says that in on the it did about a year or two ago when I looked. But it
Imagine
says
that,
it goes
right?
to the public school
Your
system.
generational wealth is going wherever. Like,
So it doesn't matter what the assets are. That means it gets designated to that entity, and that entity gets to do whatever they need to do. So let's say it
wow.
gets to the point where there's no husband, no wife, no kids, no, and I forgot what the other one was before the public school system. Goes to the public school system. That means they'll sell it and use the assets however they see fit.
Oh
Now
wow.
in New York, because I did some stuff in New York for a family of mine, I was executive for someone in New York. In New York, it's husband or wife, siblings, first cousins.
Yes, that's
So
what we're
it
dealing with
gets
right
to
now.
be so it
It's
gets to
it's
be very complicated. Now, if it has to go to probate for any reason, right? And you can look at your state, you can actually go to your state's website or type your state's name, and I'll say Georgia probate court or Kansas probate court or Maryland probate court, California probate court, and they all have that stuff laid right out on the website. Most of us don't go and look for that information until someone has passed. And the reality is, it's better for us to have that. Now, if you have to go to probate court, and Carmen alluded to the fees, but I want to be very specific with you with the fees. And I have some friends that are probate lawyers. I don't know if I know at least one of them. She's super busy. I don't know if she jumped on, but when you go to probate court, it's not like other court. When you get a lawyer and you pay the lawyer once you get paid. When you go to probate court, you pay the lawyer first.
First.
If that state says you pay the lawyer 10% of the estimated value of the estate, you pay that lawyer. Let's say the estate's worth $100,000. I'm just making up numbers because I can add fast from $100,000. So you pay 10%. That means you gotta pay. You gotta come out of pocket $10,000 before you can even get a lawyer appointed to go and seek a court date for you.
Yes.
That's before you know what happens. Then once you get into probate, now every Tom, Dick, and Harry gets to come in, or Mary, Jane, and Sue gets to come in and say, your descendant owes us money, right? And if they owe money, they're going to pay it. The one, and I got to say this as debt elimination queen, because you know I talk about this all the time. My HBCU live is coming up in a couple of weeks. If you owe student loans, if you ain't gotten forgiven, if Uncle Joe ain't took care of you yet, or whatever program you're trying to do, if you ain't got with me and got your plan together, the first person that's getting paid is Uncle
Sally
Sam.
Mae.
Uncle Sam, yes,
Amen.
Uncle, you call him Sally Mae, whoever your loan servicer is going to get their pay. Now, if you got 1 or 2 degrees and you only had $100,000 and your family already put $10,000 out, so they don't even know if they're actually going to get the whole $100,000.
There you
You
go.
owed $100,000 in student loans. Guess what? Your family just paid $10,000 to pay off your $100,000 in student loans. Student loans is the one thing, and IRS is going to follow you to the grave. So you got to get these types of debt in order because it's important. And then, so with that court system, with the probate system, it's important to know that. Now, of course, a probate lawyer can probably break this down way better than little old Saran can based on her experience. All I'm telling you is what I know, what I have seen, and what I've experienced in dealing with my family's estates and my friends and different things like that to help them go through these processes. And so it's important for you to really, really get serious. I know it's scary to talk about death. I know it's scary to talk about not being here, but here's the thing. Nobody knows if in the next 2 minutes whether you're going to be here or not. Period. Nobody. Not
Well,
one
Saran,
person on the planet can tell you that they're still going to be on the side of living for the next 30 days. We think we are because we're of reasonable health. We have, pretty healthy. We don't have, you may not have any health issues or anything, but the best thing is to be prepared for whatever. And have your paperwork, like Carmen said, to speak for you from the grave. If you got a lot of siblings, if you're an only child, I mean, it's like almost every scenario. There's no scenario that you can name that would convince me that you don't need paperwork when you're dead. And it's nothing harder than administering something for someone who is no longer here, who has no paperwork. It's frustrating for your family. They're grieving the loss of you. They're emotional. They're tired. They're stressed. And now on top of that, they got to deal with all the craziness, all the mail and all the stuff coming in that has to be dealt with, which was your life. Not that they didn't love you, but it just adds a layer of stress that makes it hard for the grieving process to go. I don't want to say smoothly, but for you to go through the grieving process. And so that's why we thought it was important to talk about this, because everybody thinks they don't need it. Your children who are under 18, you need to have some documentation as to what happens to those children if something happens to you. What happens if something happens to one of those children?
Saran, before you go on, I want to say something towards what you said.
Bring it.
It's very important to remember that when we're talking probate, that probably means that family member did not have a life insurance policy.
Correct.
So what
Absolutely.
Saran is talking about is when you're going to pay that lawyer, guess what? You're not paying it out of a life insurance policy because that person didn't have one.
No.
So if you're one of those families that are living paycheck to paycheck, where are you going to get the money from to pay this extra just to get the lawyer that is not even going to guarantee that it's going to work in your favor?
And it's interesting because if you can't afford the problem, then you really do need to get a plan in place. And I like what you said with the life insurance, because most people who do go, if there's life insurance, because the life insurance just it don't touch probate, don't go nowhere. If it's got a beneficiary and a contingent beneficiary, like Aaliyah said, she realized one of her people had passed, she wouldn't change it. If she hadn't changed it, if she had a contingent, it's going to the contingent. That doesn't even touch the court system unless there's just nobody designated, right? And so if your family's got $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million in life insurance, that's going to go straight to whoever's names are on that beneficiary. And the life insurance company won't even tell nobody else who it is if you
Right.
ain't the one that's on the policy.
That's
But I
right.
have to be,
So
but I
if you
have to be very
call,
honest.
and I know it firsthand because I called for my uncle as I was doing his estate, and they were like, "Ma'am, your name ain't on here." I said, "Okay, well, cool. I'm the one sending you the death certificate. I want you to make sure you send it to those people that you have on there. I don't care who's on there, but here's the death certificate. Send the stuff to the people that he does have on there. That's my job."
But I
And
also think it's important to be very honest right here, because
yeah,
that's what we do. We give you the real. Now, people eat me up all the time because I believe that no life insurance is better than any other. They each have their role. They each pay for their purpose.
right.
Now, we have to be honest. Sometimes it can take a while for your life insurance policy to pay out,
Right.
which is why there is a product that is perfect for that. It gets a bad name, but it's called final expense or burial, because you don't want to go through all of these stresses while you're grieving.
Right.
So there's a different product for everything. And I know we're talking about trust and wills and things of that such, but I think it's very important to understand that one of the easiest ways to avoid even getting to probate, if you have to go to probate and you want to fight it out, go to probate and fight it out. But if you don't have the money, just remember the funeral home still has your family member.
And
They
charge.
still have that cold body. And
Mhm.
it's just racking up rates. They're in the business of death. They make money the longer the body sits there. So get you a burial plan, a final expense plan. But all of this can be taken care of if you do your yearly review with your financial professional. If your financial professional knows their job, knows their stuff, they will make sure that your trust, your will, because I don't want wills to get a negative rep, but for some people, a will can give your family a path.
Right.
It can let your family know what your wishes are, so that you don't go cremating them if they, want to be buried. Those are one of the good things about a will. I don't want people to feel like they're completely worthless.
No, they're definitely not.
But
I'm gonna turn my head because I got my opinion. But something is better than nothing.
Listen,
well, no, it's not even
guys.
about that. Like, sometimes an informal will, or a formal will, like I have a great product through a legal service that will help you with getting your will all together for free.
Right.
Because it's a good path. When my mother-in-law passed away, no one could find her will. No one knew where her will was. So the family had to decide, and let me just tell you, it was a very difficult decision to make, because she had told some people one thing, she had told other people another, not lying to them, but things change as life goes on.
Exactly.
So the conversation that she had with me, 7 years ago when we got into the life insurance business, was completely different than the conversation that she had with her child when she was on her deathbed.
Right. And the thing is like you said, I think you said something important about the will, the trust, and we can say this about the important documents. Someone also needs to know where these documents are, even if it's not even if it's just a list that says this is where my life insurance is. Here's the phone number. And have someone make sure they have your social, things like that. And I know it's tough because these are personal things that we don't want out. Right. At least, or let your family know. So for example, I have a trust set up, but the 4 people who are my trustees that I've designated, because I have a succession plan, they know where to go in my house, where it is, because while I'm alive, I am the trustee. Right. But they know where to go, where to find it. And I have an electronic file that I made sure that the primary trustee, she has access to that file so that you can get into whatever you need to. And so the thing is that, especially when it's just you, if you are the only one with the information and you're not here, or even let's say case in point, and we talk about this a lot when we talk about when Aaliyah talks about health and things. What if you're just incapacitated?
Medical
medical situation. Guys, someone to make medical decisions for you.
Great,
Someone needs
great,
to know what you want, right? Somebody needs
great,
to
great,
know
great,
that
great,
you
great
want
segue.
Vaseline put on your lips to make you comfortable. Someone needs to know that, do you want to be resuscitated? Do you want to just, just let me go?
But
Let me
listen
out
to
to
this,
this.
Saran. That's a great, great, great segue into talking about the things that you absolutely, absolutely need, right? So we did talk about a will, and we understand how important it is. It's a good starting point. If you don't want to go further or whatever, but everybody needs what is called a living will or a medical directive, no matter who you are, no matter what you have. Because if you become incapacitated and cannot speak for yourself, that will tell people what needs to happen. So you do need a living will, right? And then also you want to consider having a last will and testament. And you also want to make sure that you have, as all of this as part of estate planning,
And
that you
designate
have
beneficiaries.
a durable power of attorney. Because guys, understand, when you have a general power of attorney, that cease to exist when you cease to exist. But when you have a durable power of attorney, that allows you to make decisions about who continue to make decisions about your finances and about different and all those different things. So all those are part of your estate planning.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've heard people say, a lot of people think estate planning, oh, that's for wealthy people or that's for rich people. But you've been listening to us tonight, you know now and understand estate plan is just a fancy way of saying where you want your stuff to go, who you want to have your kids, and who should control your money, whatever it is. That's
Well, let me
just
put
a
a pin
fancy
in
way
that,
of saying that.
because people think, so if you got an 18 to 20-year-old, and we don't want to talk about this, right? Because we nobody wants to talk about something happens to your 18 to 20-year-old. But if they have a car, you need to know you have to have something. In Maryland, you can designate a beneficiary on your car title in Maryland. I know, and each state is different, but I know you can do it in Maryland because I live in Maryland because I did it, right? But those are little things that we think about. If you have a young adult child who lives outside of your home, what happens to their things? All those things have to be
And
accounted
Saran,
for
not
on
cutting you,
paper.
not cutting you, Saran, but when you say if you have a young adult child that lives outside their home, many of us have children away at college. If that child does not have a living will and they're 18 years old and something happens, you have no right to get any information about that child. Yes, you can go in that hospital, that doctor, and if you don't have something to show that you have power of attorney or there's a living will or whatever, they don't have to tell you anything. They don't have to disclose anything, and you're the mama.
Look, the college don't even, and once they turn 18, the college don't even have to, don't even release the
Exactly.
grades. The students have to.
Exactly.
And so again, 18 is the legal age of adulthood. And so that's why these types of the paperwork that we're talking about, is important for us to protect ourselves and protect our ability to still care for our young adults, right? Even though we can keep them on our medical insurance until we're 26, you
Thanks,
still
Obama.
right. Thanks to our former president Obama. But they still have their own legal rights. And so you have to have some things set up in place that will allow things to flow. We don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm licensed and it's my job to tell you this, because if I don't tell you this, I didn't do my job. Like Shalonda said, we're licensed to talk to you about a lot of these things and get you to go to the professionals to do things and get you hooked up with the right partners that we work with for legal services and things like that, so that you can have these things in place, at a reasonable cost. Like Shalonda, I keep wanting to call you Shalia. I don't know. I know somebody named Shalia. She must be talking about me. Shalonda, Shay, like we're talking about, is to really think about, you can call any one of us, millionaireLadiesMom@gmail.com, and you can set up an appointment and we can talk you through these things in a loving, comforting way. We might be a little confrontational sometimes when we're on here, but we're really great, nice people.
And passionate. That's what we are. Passionate.
Hashtag nice millionaire ladies, small people, right? But seriously, thinking about. So let's talk about this. This is interesting. So what if you're a single person and you happen to be like an amazing person that's into fashion and jewelry and perfumes and all, but you might not have a house or anything like that, which is cool because there's nothing wrong with not having a house. But you have a really nice bag collection. You have a lot of high end things. You have all the Gucci, the Louis, the Louis Vuitton. You have all the latest and greatest of all those things. Don't you think those are assets? You paid pretty pennies for those, and those the resale values hold pretty well. And so when you have those things, it's important to have it written down what's going to happen to those things. Your mama, somebody got to know how to transition and how to work certain things out like that, right?
And what about your cat?
Oh, and what about you? Look, I have a dog and a grand dog. So what about my dog? And what about your turtle or your rabbit or whatever loving pet you have in the house?
These things need to be in your trust.
Right. And just all the things that really think about. And there's some free resources too that are out there on websites that you can do. But we want you to talk to a professional, right? And that's why we say, hey, reach out to us. We'll get you connected, get the appointment. We'll talk through these things to get things in place, because not having them is a bad idea. Now, I'm going to be petty for a second because sometimes I like to be petty. I'm sick of seeing these crowdfunding posts every time someone passed away. I'm sick to death of seeing them. Not because there's anything wrong with us getting together collectively to help pay to bury someone or have final arrangements for someone we cared about, but because there's so many other tools that can be put in place that will not only give our family members, our loved ones and friends a proper send-off. It's nobody's begging in the streets on your behalf. Oh, by the way, wouldn't you want somebody to show up at your house with a check written out to you for $500,000 because guess what? You were the beneficiary on the actual life insurance policy that the people that was taken out or was put in place for that person, or $1 million policy, or 250,000 or 1.5 million, or whatever it is. Wouldn't that help the grieving process?
Saran, I'm gonna make a very bold statement.
Do it, girl. You know I'm into it.
It is selfish of you if you have children and if you have debt. It is selfish of you not to have a plan in place for those children to take care of those matters when you pass away.
It's heartless. It's not just selfish. It's heartless, because we see you take them to all the Elmo shows. They got Jordans. They got this. They got that. What happens when you're not here to give them those things? We have lost sight of what's important.
Not even
into the material stuff. They need more than just
that, Saran. Not even that. Think about it like this: mother and father pass away in a car accident. Kids are adults.
Mm-hmm.
Mother and father have tons of debt. Mortgage, cars, whatever, credit cards, whatever, secured, whatever, student loan debt. What happens to all of it?
Well, if it goes to probate, the house gets sold and it pays for it.
What happens if the kids are living in that house? What happens if you have an 18-year-old?
They don't live there no more. They're homeless.
What if you have an 18-year-old and they're away at college, and you die in a car accident? Oh, people don't want to hear that, but guess what? It happens every day.
Every day.
And then guess what happens? Not only is your 18-year-old forced to grow up, you don't know how they're going to grow up, because
that's the red story you're talking about right there. That's the red story.
They have to deal with grief. They have to deal with taking care of their younger siblings. And they have to go find a place with no money and no job because they're 18.
You're going to make me cry.
Would you like me to break it down for you for real? Would you like for me to tell you how it really happens, Shay? Because here's how it happens. At 22, I graduated college from the Virginia State University. You can't see my little sign. In December, my mother was killed in a car accident.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, I didn't
In
know.
December, I know. In December, my mother was killed in a car accident. I had 6 siblings under the age of 18. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six. We, my aunt and she may or may not be watching. My aunt and I went in, we got the kids, we split them up because we couldn't afford to keep them in one place. We both lived in different states. We took care of them. Now, I just graduated college 6 months ago, right? So I become the guardian of the kids. I take care of the kids. I was making $32,000 in 1998. And at the end of the month, I was negative $1,000 because I had to pay for daycare and all these other things that just didn't count. Because most people, I was moving into an apartment, I was getting a roommate, but I couldn't get a roommate because now I got kids. And so it changed my entire trajectory of my life because now I'm a guardian parent, if you will, to children. The youngest was 4, right? Well, she was 5 by the time she got to me, right? I don't want to make y'all cry. I'm not crying because I lived it. This is my thing. This is what I do, right? Look, I see Shay over there. Don't get emotional because everybody's fine, right?
I didn't know it was
Right?
you.
The
I just
youngest is
know it
28.
happens
I'm just
every day.
Listen, the youngest is 28, right? My aunt had half of the kids, and so we just made it work. I can tell you that at 22, 23, I had to stand in food lines because guess what? My money was short. I had to do it, but I had too much pride to show up and stand in line. I showed up 2 hours before it started, and I was like, I'm here to volunteer. Me and the kids were volunteering, and so I'm giving out food like I don't need it. And at the end, I'm like, all right, well, I hope we get some of this and we get whatever we want at the end because I had too much pride to just be standing in the line and getting it. But I showed up and volunteered every Saturday at this church in Virginia. And that's what I did. And I moved and I just did everything I needed to do to make it work. I had some beautiful Virginia State alumni who took care of me. One she passed away many years ago, but she would always every month she would call me and say, I bought you some food. And I would go to the house and she'd give me like 10 bags of groceries. And it always just helped out just enough to make things happen, right? Nobody showed up at my door with a check for insurance. Oh, by the way, I paid for the funeral with all the money I got from graduation. So there's that. I'm the oldest. And so it just is one of those things that, yeah, it happens. And so coming into this industry way late, I should have probably been in this industry 20 years ago, right? Knowing the power of not having it or the struggle of not having it. And the thing is that when I talk to people about these things, it's not because I don't know what it's like to not have it. And that's not everybody's story, right? Some
Right.
people, it doesn't even matter. But like you said, somebody 18, I wasn't 18, I was 22. I had a great job coming out of college, and some of those folks are still my friends. I had a great job starting a career. But when you add 2 or 3 kids to it, it's not enough. I can take great care of me with what I had. But the thing is that, and that's why these conversations are so important that we
Very
have
much.
it. That one day when Carmen, Aaliyah, Shalonda, and Saran, when it's our time to no longer be on this planet, someone's going to be the wiser. The thing that saddens me the most is when I hear people say, I don't want to leave anything to nobody. They need to work just as hard as me. That
That
breaks my
part.
heart because you know what? That is, I don't want to use the word because they banned it a long time ago, but you fill it in. It starts with an N. Those people have a problem because they're stuck in a mentality that does not grow our community the way it needs to. So what if you have, and I'm gonna be real raunchy because y'all know I get a little. If you got a whole family full of crackheads and everybody's on drugs, everybody's running the streets, or everybody's doing something that you just don't agree with, and maybe you're the only sane one, right? You should still have a life insurance policy. You should still have an estate plan. But guess what? Maybe you don't leave it to them because they're irresponsible. But you leave it to your religious organization. You leave it to a nonprofit that you know does good work in the community. You leave it to a university that you know can further the mission of things that you believe in because you can't take a dollar with you, but you can change the trajectory for somebody else by
Exactly.
leaving it to an organization, even if you don't feel confident leaving it to your family.
Exactly.
If you do nothing, our community, and I'm gonna just be our Black community, our African American community, our melanated community, whatever you want to refer to it, our melanated people are the ones who suffer. Because if you leave money to a nonprofit in Maryland here. I used to be president of a nonprofit here, the Ivy Community Charities. Shout out to the Ivy Community Charities. They do amazing work in the community with youth and family. And guess what? If I didn't have any family members, I would leave 100% of what I had to them because I believe in the work that they do in the community, right? I have a family, I have some things set up, but they get in a cut because I still care about the mission of what they do. You put scholarships into the hands of kids who need it. You put food on the table for people who need it, shoes on kids who need them, business development for women who want to start businesses, you name it. There's an organization out here like that in your community that you can get behind that when you do set up a life insurance policy, whether it be a fancy strategic one that we talk about or whatever, that they could use that to change the world for somebody else that looks like you.
But you
Guess
know
what?
what? It
Guess what?
doesn't start at death.
Guess
We
what?
should be doing those things now because life insurance is only a financial replacement.
Yeah.
It's a
Guess
replacement
what?
of the finances that you paid for things when you were alive.
Right.
So, who's going to give your tithes when you're no longer there? That's
Right.
what your amount of charity that you give when you pass away is for, because it's
So
replacing everything that you paid for when you were alive.
Correct.
yeah. So guess what, guys? You know, it's always with us. We're always close to the time to get off, and we haven't touched the surface. But we hope that what we've talked about did resonate with you a little bit. Let me just say it to Saran. Saran, thank you for being so transparent and sharing your story because you do not know how many people it's affecting right now. Even if they were thinking, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get some food on the table, and I don't want to go stand in a line. And now they know that maybe I should just go give first and then I'll get back. But that is a powerful, powerful story that you shared. The other thing that I don't want to get too deep into is that when you lose some of those people, Saran said that you had some crackheads, but before they become crackheads and you are the one that's saying and you're responsible for them, get insurance on them because when something happens to them,
Before
you're
they
going to be
become crackheads.
responsible for it. So that's what you need to be doing and pay the $10, $12 a month as opposed to having to pay the $30,000 when they're gone. So that's one of those are the things you can do. But I gotta wrap us up. We're almost to the hour mark. I want to leave you with five things that can help you in making this decision when it comes to estate planning. Number one, you want to know who will manage your money when you die. And I don't care if you don't have a dime right now. Who will manage your money when you die? So you need to name a successor. You need to a trustee in your trust. You have to have a will that will state all whatever things will happen with those with your monies and how it will be distributed when you pass away. Second of all, where will your money go? And we need to have a whole conversation on just that because Saran just told you you can leave your money to not just you hate your family members. Okay, you don't have any. You you know what else you can do with it. And some people do not know that they can do these things.
As long as
Y'all
they have an EIN.
now.
As long as they
And
have an
look,
EIN.
I can say this with confidence. She's not looking. I have uh, in my country, we call him a stepsister. I got a stepsister that, I probably met her like 3 times. She is a millionaire time and time over. And when she dies, all her money is going to charity. She don't know me like that. So I can't have no whatever about it. It's her money. But these are things that you could do. Next question. So first, who will manage your money when you die? And second, where will your money go? Because the person who's managing it doesn't necessarily mean they're getting it.
Correct.
And also, and vice versa, they could be the one that's getting it. But those are two different decisions. Then who takes care of your children if something happens to you? That's the third thing to think about. Who takes care of your children if something happens to you? Number four, who will make medical decisions for you if you're incapacitated and you cannot speak for yourself? You guys might be young whippersnappers, maybe, but I don't know if you guys remember Terry Schiavo case and how long she languished with the parent fighting the husband, the parents and the husband fighting to keep her alive, just not having any brain activity or whatever. It took years, guys, years. Last but not least, you need more than one person over your asset. One person can get the devil in them. And then inherited theft. Yes, 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 definitely. These are different things that you have to think about. And last but not least, who will make financial decisions if you're incapacitated? So there you go. We're talking about getting that will done, getting that trust done, getting that living will completed, getting that durable power of attorney completed. Y'all, this was a show. We really truly hope that you took something from this and you connect with us, you inbox us. Like I said, we are all able to help you with your estate planning. We're all able to help you with protecting your income, with getting you out of debt, with creating that income stream in retirement, with helping you to take care of those deadbeat crackheads in your family. When we can do all this stuff, reach out to us, y'all. Reach out to us. Let the ladies do a quick outro and then we'll be out of here.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to say first because this has been so timely. We need to do it again. But next time we need to have some real like solutions for everybody. I really think that. My name is Aaliyah. I love this conversation because I've lived it. I know people who are living it, who've had things taken from them, all kinds of things. So we need to have the conversation. Aaliyah Sherrod, thank you so much for joining us.
That's true. And one of the reasons we're not giving out exact solutions is because everybody's case is different. So you need to reach out to us and we will take care of that individually. But this was super awesome. Let's go, sis. Shalonda.
Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I can be reached on all social media networks. ShalondaKaiserMitchell.com is my website. Like I said, I'm a financial planner. I help you with planning your budget so that you can get to where you need to get. And I will help you insure those crackheads before they become crackheads. Everyone gets a
the
policy
expert
early.
on crackheads. That is
Oh,
our
God.
expert.
You never know when crack will kick, so we gotta insure them early. Insure them early.
She's the expert
I'm
on
so
crackheads.
sorry I said that. I'm so sorry I said that.
Me too.
And
Me too, Saran.
let's move to the crackhead queen herself. Let's go.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No!
Look that up.
No!
Look that up. Crackhead queen. Wow.
My name is Saran Baker. I'm your debt elimination queen. You can reach me at saran10k.com. You can also, I would love for you to join me on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. for my chat, Dirty Little Money Secrets, where we get gritty. We talk about different things. And I'm here all day. And I'm sorry I'm the one that probably made you cry today, but know that that's not where my story ends. My story is very triumphant. There's nothing in my life that has ever taken me out of this game and made me any less than the person that I am, which is a queen who serves and gives no matter what. So, again, saran10k.com. And we're just happy to be here. So that's my outro. We'll see you next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Be sure to go to YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, be sure to go to YouTube and like and subscribe as we build this information. And please share our videos. If you're watching the replay, please comment, type replay and type your comment. Set up an appointment with one of us. You can just email us at millionaireladies@gmail.com and the millionaire ladies mob at gmail.com and just say, hey, I want to meet with Saran. Hey, I want to meet with Aaliyah. I want to meet with Shalonda. I want to meet with Carmen. And one or all of us, we will meet with you and make sure that all your needs are met. So we're excited to be here. And just remember, it doesn't matter how little or how much you have, you should have a written plan for your life because there's two things that you're guaranteed. You're going to pay some taxes. Now, if you work with us, you'll probably pay a little bit less taxes, but you're going to pay some taxes. And we're all going to die at some point after we're born. And it's just the reality of what it is. The question is when. Nobody knows when. Our birth certificates do not have a expiration date, but they do have a birth date.
That's right. And I am Carmen Bernard, Carmen10k.com. I truly enjoyed this conversation here today. We laughed a little, we cried a little, we made some jokes, but definitely connect with us, and we will be back. My Wednesday show is going to start coming up next week. Now that I put it out there, I'm gonna have to do it. And because I know I've been missing, some of my people been asking me, come on, why aren't you on there? So join me on Wednesday, join Saran on Mondays. Aaliyah is coming on out there. She was out there last night. Maybe Tuesdays become her day. I don't know what it does. And Miss Shalonda is going to be there all as well. But we are here to help you. And you know, it sounds cliche when we say, what do you do? We help people, but really and truly, we help people, and we have fun doing it.
I
And
create millionaires, so you
get,
can reach out to me if you want to be a millionaire. I create millionaires.
and we also get paid to do it, and we can help you to get paid to do it as well. So if it's something that resonates with you and you want to do this, please come out and join us. We are having a meeting here in Atlanta, Georgia, coming up on June 9th. And you're going to have an in-person meeting. You can come meet me, Cash Value Queen Carmen, there on June 9th. But if this is something that you're interested in, seriously interested in helping people, we can help you get licensed, and we can help you be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And with that, we thank you and have a great one. You could have been anyplace else, but you chose to be with us. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm about to turn my computer off.